All right, let's just jump right in. If you're an immigrant or from an immigrant family, you know that building a new life, it's not just one journey, is it? It's really two. There's the one you can see, right? The paperwork, the bank accounts, all that stuff. But then there's the one you can't see. That silent, internal struggle with culture, with family, and with your own identity. And today, we're going to tackle both.
So that's the real question, isn't it? How do you fight a war on two fronts at the same time? You've got the seen and the unseen. One is all about the rules, about compliance. The other is all about the heart, about connection. We're going to start with the one that seems more straightforward, the one with the clearest rules, but, oh boy, also the harshest penalties.
Okay, so welcome to what I like to call the money maze. This is that first front, the one you can see, it's tangible, it's super complex, and honestly, it can be really unforgiving. This is the world of financial compliance you step into when you start building a life in the U.S.
And it all kicks off with this one little term, U.S. tax resident. Now, you might think this is just about having a green card, right? Nope. It's way simpler and trickier than that. If you are physically in the U.S. for at least 183 days, that's basically half the year, you'll likely meet what's called the substantial presence test. And the moment that happens, bam, the whole rulebook changes.
Here's why that matters so much. The U.S. is one of only a few countries that taxes you based on where you live, not just where you earn. What does that mean for you? It means the IRS doesn't just care about your paycheck here. Oh no, they want to know about everything. That apartment you're renting out back home, they want to know. The interest you're earning in a bank account overseas, yep, that too. Your pension, you bet. Literally everything is on the table.
And speaking of foreign bank accounts, get ready for this number, $10,000. You need to burn this number into your brain because it catches so many people out. If the total combined value of all your foreign accounts hits 10 grand, even for just one day, a whole new reporting requirement kicks in.
And that requirement has a name. It's called the FBAR, which you file on FinCEN Form 114. And hey, if you have even more in foreign assets, you get to meet its big brother, FATCA, on Form 8938. Look, the main thing to remember is that just forgetting to file these is not an option. The penalties are absolutely brutal. We're talking fines that can be even bigger than what you have in the account. No joke.
All right, let's talk about one of the biggest, nastiest hidden traps out there, your investments. A lot of us have investments back home, right? A portfolio we've had for years. Well, be careful, because a foreign mutual fund, what the IRS calls a PFIC, is basically tax toxic. It's poison. While your U.S. funds get taxed normally, that innocent-looking fund from back home could get slammed with tax rates as high as 50%. That's not just a tax, it's a wealth destroyer.
Okay, so right about now you're probably thinking, but wait, what about tax treaties? Don't they protect me? And that's a great question. But here's the catch, the fine print that almost everyone misses. Most U.S. treaties have something called a saving clause, and it's basically a trump card. It lets the U.S. tax its residents as if the treaty didn't even exist. It's a powerful override.
Okay, I know this all sounds like doom and gloom, but it's not. There are definitely tools to protect yourself. Think of them as your shield. You've got Form 1116, the foreign tax credit. This is huge. It helps you avoid getting taxed twice on the same income. And then there's Form 2555, the foreign earned income exclusion, which can shield a big chunk of what you earn abroad. The key takeaway here, it's not just about what you make, it's about what you get to keep.
All right, let's take a deep breath. We've waded through the money maze, that external visible front. Now we've got to pivot. We're shifting gears from the world of numbers and forms to something way more personal. Something internal. This is the unseen battle, the fight for your identity. This is where the cold logic of the tax code crashes right into the language of the heart.
And this quote, man, this just gets right to the core of it, doesn't it? For our parents' generation, especially if they survived scarcity or war, love looked different. Working 80 hours a week, that wasn't just a job. That was their I love you. It was their sacrifice made visible. But for their kids, growing up in a totally new culture, love is often about something else, right? It's about talking, about emotional connection, about saying the words.
You know, there's actually a name for this clash. It's called intergenerational dissonance. And really, it's the gap between two completely different worldviews. You have the parents' scarcity mindset, where everything is about survival and safety, and then you have the child's quest for authenticity, which is all about finding yourself and what makes you happy. And what does this lead to? So often, it means we end up leading these double lives.
At home, you're the dutiful child, you respect tradition, you do what's expected, but then you walk out the door and in the world with your friends, you're the all-American individual, embracing totally different values. And that constant switching back and forth, it creates this deep sense of being torn, like you don't fully belong anywhere.
So, what happens when these two fronts, the seen battle of money and the unseen battle of identity, collide? Well, this is where it all comes together. And this is how you connect the dots. That unseen scarcity mindset, it translates directly into seen, tangible advice. You know, when a parent says you should be a doctor, it's a safe job, they're not really giving you career advice. What they're actually doing is handing you their personal survival mat, the one that got them through. So when you say, nah, I want to be an artist, to them, it feels like you're throwing their map in the trash and choosing to walk straight into danger. And this is so important to understand. The judgment you feel, the disapproval, even the painful silent treatment, it's usually not a personal attack on you. It's an expression of their fear. Think about it. They might have fled poverty or even war. They're terrified of anything that looks different from the one path that kept them safe. Your dream, as beautiful as it is, feels like a threat to their very survival. Okay, so understanding that connection, that's step one. That's huge. The next step is to actually build a bridge, to find a way forward that honors their past without sacrificing your future.
There's a term for this path forward: consonant acculturation. It sounds academic, but it really breaks down into 3 very human steps. First, you have to truly acknowledge their sacrifice, see what they gave up, and understand the mindset that came from it. Second, and this one's tough, you have to let yourself grieve what you didn't get. And finally, number 3, you take all that understanding and you use it to build your own future. A future that respects their journey for sure, but isn't a prisoner of their fears. And that brings us to the ultimate strategy, the grand plan. It's about fighting on both fronts with one unified approach. On one hand, you master the new rules. You learn the FBRs, the PFICs, the whole money maze. That discipline, that's what ensures your financial survival. And at the exact same time, you make peace with the old values. You learn to understand the scarcity, the silence, and maybe even the love that was hidden inside it all. And that empathy, that's what buys you your emotional freedom.
Because in the end, true success isn't just about the money, and it's not just about finding yourself. It's about integrating the two. It's about taking all that love and sacrifice from the unseen world of your parents and using it as fuel to build the seen world of your own future. So I'll leave you with this to think about. In your life right now, how are you bridging that gap?